Hey everybody, I'm Joey Evans, and today we are taking a look at a kind of a speed maze game from WizKids called Dungeon Scrawlers. This one is Heroes of Waterdeep. Whew, out of focus. Now, Heroes of Waterdeep is the second one in this series. The first one is Heroes of Undermountain, and this one is a little bit, it's pretty fun, right? A little bit different, but I'm going to show you quickly how this plays. There are a few differences in Heroes of Waterdeep. Before we get into those, let me give you a really brief overview of how the game is played so you get a feel of it. Okay, so here is how you play really quickly Dungeon Scrawlers. Again, this is just not a full rules teach. It's going to be mainly an overview, but pretty much it's a maze and it's timed. You're timed against everybody else you're going against. And once you put down your pin, you're going to start to move and you cannot lift your pin up. And you're going to collect items and things along the way. Now, every dungeon has a number up here on the top. This is D1. You're going to set up the dungeon here. We're doing the first one here. Special rules are none. That ends when you get the boss right here in the middle. And then if you do get that boss, you get 4 victory points. So here's what happens. You're going to start here and decide to go to rooms. I may want to go over here, grab this coin. If I grab a coin, then I can grab this, put it in front of me, and that's going to be worth points at the end of the game, and also whoever has the most. And again, these are finite. There's only a certain number. You're going to keep going, and these are spells. And in order to get the spell, I have to trace it just like this along the line, and I have completed that spell. That's going to give me points at the end of the game. Go through here. And you have to complete everything in a room and go to the next room. And this is the monster here. I'm lifting up only to show you what's going on here. And I'm going to beat that monster just like this. The treasure, I have to go around and collect the treasure this way. And you're going to go through and grab everything in there. You cannot go through walls, you lose points. Or you can actually end the game if you just go through. It negates everything. But then as you go, I obviously lifted up to show you the different things here. This is, of course, treasure, monster, the spell. These right here are the runes. If you actually come into this room, to complete these, you have to go in order. So we have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just like that. And then you're going to keep going until you finally get to the end, which here is the big boss. And once you get to him, you're going to have to color up all of him just like this, which I have not done. I've got little beasts. There we go. I've covered him up just like that. And then that's when everybody stops, pencils down. So a couple of other things. There are also flowers you pick up. There are also orbs you can pick up along the way. I will show you a couple of different things in the other maps to get a bit more, not complicated, but little things going on. Like I said, here are the orbs right here. There are also keys you can pick up here. A blue key, which would allow you to grab one of these, and then also allow you to open a blue door here. All right, and then also there are mini dungeons. And the mini dungeons look like this. And these are really cool. This is a cool little addition. So if you ever make it here and you go into the mini dungeon, there is a mini dungeon deck that you're going to grab. And then you're going to look and you're going to fulfill this little mini dungeon. You're going to start and you're going to come on through. And then you're going to go out one of these places here. 1, 2, or 3. So, and that shows you where you're going to come out, 1, 2, or 3. And then you continue on this map. So in addition to mini dungeons are also bosses that you can find as well. And everybody's going to get a character. And a character is going to be like your cleric, your ranger, rogue, wizard, or barbarian. And all of these do kind of make sense in what they're doing because they all get an ability. For the ranger, you can pick up flowers a bit easier. The rogue can pick up treasure without, you don't have to mark them all out if you just go through them. The wizard can just go through a spell and grab that spell. And the barbarian doesn't have to go through and fully cover anything. It just goes through and picks it up. And the cleric can get runes in any order. So what happens is you're going to do 3 dungeons. The person next to you is going to score at the bottom here, 1, 2, and 3. And then whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins and is the best dungeon scrawler. All right. So that is it in a nutshell. Let's send it back and see what we thought about it. Okay, so pretty much that is how Dungeon Scrawlers is played. Again, that's not all the rules. I'm not going into the points on like what everything is worth and all that, but you do tally up the points depending on what you picked up along the way, and it's a point-driven kind of a maze game. Here's the thing, it's a little bit different than the first one, Heroes of Undermountain, as this one has the mini dungeons, the bosses, and still has the portals, things like that, and also the coins in the middle. Few small differences in there. And I do like those changes. Those mini dungeons, for some reason, it's kind of neat to kind of go in there and then go into a mini dungeon real quick and try to figure out which way to go through those, and then come out and go back on the board. But then you've got that in addition to the coins. What it does is it gives you so many different things to do, different avenues to get those points, those victories. Like, you're going to want to go for the boss, but the big thing is, going for the boss sounds like something you should do because that's what the majority of games tell you to do. Or you can kind of forest points and start forage points throughout the entire board and not worry so much about the boss. So you're trying to go through, because that is the biggest thing with this one and the first one, is you can get kind of lost in the weeds and not try to get to the end because you want to pick up everything along the way, which works unless you've got somebody that is just speeding through and going through and trying to find the person at the end. The weird thing is, use the word maze here, and I guess it is a maze, but you're never really going to get lost. You can eventually go through. It's not going to be that hard of a maze if you were just to finish it, but you do have to try to find your way to the center baddie and really the exit, the way to finish that dungeon. So if you want to go there as soon as possible, sometimes that does take some turning around, but as you turn around, as you go the wrong way, you are collecting items. So that part I really do like. The Dragon Coins work. Also, they had one-way arrows, which I kind of like, where you can only go a certain way. It's kind of a one-way street on certain things. So those are the things they add. The big thing about this is the first game I played, and I'm like, this is interesting. And I played it several times, and I had it to get rid of, and then I brought it back. It's one of those that not everyone is going to like. Number one, it's real time. Some people do not like real time. So of course, if you don't like real time, this is not going to be for you. But this is one of those where you are actually going through as fast as you can, and it's a race with everybody else. So it adds that anxiety of trying to rush through. And the fact is, you want to be quick, but you also have to be legible, because the person next to you is going to score yours, because you'll lose points if you go through the wall, or if you clip a wall. If you actually go through the wall, it could just end your entire thing. So they're going to be looking at that. You're going to want to make sure you cover everything up quickly and you actually cover it up fully. So those are the big things. Again, I like the player powers on here. The player powers actually make sense. I mean, the wizard is good at spells. You've got the rogue, it's really good to pick up the treasures and stuff. The ranger and the flowers. The cleric knows how to put the runes together. And the barbarian kills really quickly. He just slashes through and keeps going. As far as the balance, I'm not sure how well they do, but I think they're probably going to balance out with the cleric. I think I found is probably my least favorite, because the ability doesn't help you that much. But I like all of those different variety in choosing it. Again, this is a fun game. It's not meant to be a huge, epically heavy game. It probably fits in that 10 to 15 minute thing, which is good. Again, it's an in-the-night game that you want to run through. It's honestly one that I'm surprised hasn't gotten more traction than it has. The first one was good, Heroes of Undermountain, and Heroes of Waterdeep I think is actually even better because it's got things that actually make it more fun. Those mini dungeons and bosses are great. Artwork's great. So anyway, this is recommended. This is a 7 from me. If you like that type of real-time game, those kind of, I guess, anxiety games. Really? I mean, you just sit there and you just go through as quick as you can. I enjoy it. I think you might too. So give this a try. This is Dungeon Scrawlers, Heroes of Waterdeep. So go do your maze. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye. Game from WizKids called Dungeon. almost knocked stuff over. Let's try that again. Speed game. Gotta slow down. You're not playing the game, Joey. Slow down. Find my zen. I've lost my zen.